Hi, it's me, Ranjit. If you enjoyed this episode, I request you to leave us a review. This will help us to reach more great podcast listeners like you. Thank you.
Hello and welcome to FS Brew. FS Brew is the region's first podcast focusing on all things insurance and insurtech in the UAE and the broader Middle East. I'm Vidya. I'm the founder of Forward, a startup that works with insurance companies to accelerate their go-to-market propositions, digital transformation, and digital marketing initiatives.
And I'm Ranjit Philip. I'm an angel investor. I advise and work with startups. These days, I'm working to set up the Middle East business of a cyber insurtech called Box Insurance. And we are very privileged to connect today with Lars Gehrmann, who is the Chief Group Digital Officer for Qatar Insurance Group and Head of Digital Venture Partners. He comes with long years of experience in both startups and with multinational companies like Zurich Insurance Group.
Awesome. And I quite enjoyed the conversation today because he seemed quite open about the fact that any persons who have innovative ideas around insurtech or insurance as a concept itself, reach out. So it feels like it's a fairly easy process to reach out to them, understand what's working, what's not, and it feels like it would be a learning curve for any budding insurtech startup founders.
Yeah, absolutely. And we spoke about how he went about setting up a corporate venture capital arm for first time in this region for an insurance company, how he's organizing a hackathon to attract and really bring out talent from the region and around. So overall, a very interesting conversation.
Absolutely. So listen in.
Lars, so it's a pleasure to have you on board with FS Brew. Welcome.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be with you.
Thank you. Thank you. And we can kick it started with the question that we ask all our guests. How did you get into insurance? And can you please tell us a little bit more about your role at QIC?
Yeah, thank you. It's actually an interesting question. I had to remember myself when I actually did something in insurance. I found out, I have been in my very first year of my career, many years ago, working on the first digital insurance broker in Germany, an internet insurance broker in the year 2000. It obviously had to fail, and I was back then just a consultant, but it had to fail because bandwidth was not even there in the year 2000. But it was interesting. And I left insurance, but always have been working somehow in the financial industry. Did my own stuff, built a digital bank in Spain for some years, and I had a connection. Came back in the year 2018 into the insurance business, helping a big insurance company to look into new digital business models. I moved to the Middle East last year to work with Qatar Insurance Company on exactly this, setting up new digital business models for the region, helping QIC to grow. And this is what my job is, Chief Digital Officer for the group and also heading the Digital Venture Partner company.
Thank you.
That sort of, slips in quite nicely in the question that I wanted to ask you. What is the sensational QIC Digital Venture Partners that you've gone and set it up? Can you speak about, the journey, the process that you went through to, set this up? It'd be really helpful for leaders who are looking to do similar things in this region.
Sure. I think what we've done in QIC is look a bit into how we can help our own company and in the end, the ecosystem to do things differently. And I believe there have been two vehicles that have been missing. Venture studios. I think we have a couple of venture studios out there in the region, but nobody really is looking into Insurtech. And this is one area where you can do many things. So digital venture partners means that we are investing, we are building companies, and we are partnering with companies, mainly Insurtechs and other insurance companies and venture builders. So we have one vehicle, which is the venture studio, where we're really building companies alone or in partnerships. And we have a corporate VC vehicle where we invest into adjacent business models and companies that actually fit quite well to us. We do this because not because we have nothing. And QIC is one of the biggest digital insurer already in the region. But we do this because we believe we can define standards and help to build an insurtech and digital incumbent ecosystem around it.
Yeah, very good. And I think you mentioned that venture piece, both the studios and the probably the venture capital. And we have seen that in the US and Europe, this is a CVC or corporate venture capital is used by incumbent insurers to kind of bet on innovation. You used a similar approach. Can you speak about your experience in developing sort of the first CVC for insurers in the region, and how did you convince the board to move in the direction?
Yeah, let's start with the second question. So I believe it was really easy, right? QIC is the biggest insurer in the Middle East. We have a really powerful private equity portfolio. Yeah. So the only thing that we actually had to do is use part of this portfolio and investing into more early stage companies. And this is the second question that we have. Is there enough potential here to be invested in early stage insurtech? Yeah. And this is where the question comes, innovation or what we actually have to do. So yes, I agree with you. In the States and in Asia and in Europe, CVC is used to partner with insurtechs. This is our mission as well, but we believe that the whole insurtech ecosystem in the Middle East or in MENA as such is really very nascent. So it's less the role of an incumbent like us to partner, to see innovation, as our role and mandate actually is to help to drive this innovation. So for us, it's about identifying the right teams, putting an idea into those teams and let them grow together with us. And the CVC is part of this journey. So it's a really active role that we are playing in the insurtech ecosystem rather than just buying innovation with money that we're having.
Yeah, you're almost growing that innovation with you.
Yes, this is the intent, yes.
Interesting. So is there any specific, unique innovation environment that QIC is specifically looking at when you look at Middle East? Because the tried and tested models of, innovative insurtech startups is they have a combination of lean startup, they have design thinking, they're quite agile. So what's QIC's approach when you are, looking at startups here?
Yeah, look, I think we have a similar approach than any other investor would have. You look at a team. Yeah, and the team is the one criteria, right? And then you have to look into where's the market and how developed is the market itself here in the MENA region and can we help to develop this market. I believe the things that you just mentioned, agile, lean management, it's a must. Yeah, there's no way around this. That's why I said team. The team needs to know these things from daily life, otherwise they will not succeed. What we see in the insurtech environment here in MENA is that really, as the countries are smaller compared to other regions, it's quite complicated to scale. And this is where, again, I believe we have an opportunity to work hand in hand and enable the right insurtechs and the right founding teams to scale faster into the different countries. So that's it. It's really about developing the insurtech ecosystem rather than just being part of it. I believe this is what our role is.
Yeah. I think the scale aspect is important because then that means that you have to, from the start, be very frugal in terms of, running the business so that you can break even at low volumes as well. When I say you, I mean the insurtechs that you're kind of bringing out from the region. Yeah.
Yes. And this is really a challenge because obviously, you see frameworks and tech frameworks work in other parts of the countries or regions. It would be really easy to get them in, but they will not work because they're totally too big, right? Yeah. For our region. Yeah. So we need the lean, as you say, frugal approach to make it happen. And we have seen a couple of insurtechs coming that have been financed with big money. Yeah, but this big money does not necessarily help to be frugal and to cope with the requirements that we have in the whole region.
Yeah, absolutely. And shifting gears to now the big event that's coming up next week, the hackathon. This is probably the first hackathon conducted by an insurance company in the region, and kudos to you for that. What was the reasoning behind it, and what was the first steps that you took towards getting this large event organized?
Thank you for this question, and we are really happy about the results. Right now, we started this, as we said, all coming back, building ecosystem, Insurtech ecosystem is what we can do to actually bring the talent together with the incumbents and us. So it started really 6 or 7 months ago, where I talked to a couple of big companies here that also have a digital agenda and see what we can do for the ecosystem. And the idea of a hackathon or a startup challenge was really easy because I said, yes, this is the way how we can bring every participant in the ecosystem together. We have had a long journey on this, so it took us some time to organize. It was the first time for us, but it's also the first time for the region. So you just have to combine the right capabilities. We are really happy. We launched it, the subscription phase in May. We had 140 companies and teams applying for it from 39 countries. Mm-hmm. We selected 50 out of those teams. Right. Those 50 teams went through a 2-day online hackathon, where at the end we selected 15 teams. And then we had a mentorship phase, 10 days. And out of those 15, we selected yesterday 6 that will present at our Insurtech conference next week. Yep. And it's really amazing. We have 4 companies from Qatar and the Emirates. We had much more from the whole region, but for the 6, there are 2 from Emirates, 2 from Qatar, 1 from India, and 1 actually from France, which has an amazing digital insurance factory built. So we like it very much. So those 6 will pitch at our Insurtech conference next week in Doha, 23rd of Doha. 23rd of June in Doha. And then we see that we hopefully can co-create with them and see what else can be done.
Yeah. Brilliant. It's such a wonderful, initiative, and it's such a great energy to have in the region. To be able to drive with such ambition and such passion, talent is, really critical factor in driving this. What will be your approach for attracting, retaining, and growing the right talent to support QIC's DVP's growth plan?
Maybe you take it a step to the region itself. So I found it complicated to get to the same level of talent that I was used to work with in other regions of the world. We don't have it. Yeah, we have single persons like you and some of the founders that we actually met, but there are not that many. And we have a thriving digital ecosystem. So it's not that we are not digital. The whole region is really digital, right? But in insurance, we are somehow lacking behind. Yeah. So this is one challenge that we're having. Yeah, I believe this will change. So the more startups are coming, the more VC is available, the more incumbents are working with startups. This will attract talent. We last week had the ability to explain at the Insurtech conference in Singapore the MENA Insurtech ecosystem. So I think this will open up minds and brains and people and willingness to come. So this is one. We have a lack in general in the MENA region in this kind of talent. On our side, we have a 2-pronged approach. So one, yes, I've hired outside the local or regional ecosystem. I brought people in from Asia, from people from Europe, because it's important to see what is happening in different parts of the world in terms of Insurtech innovation. So we brought those people in. And now, yes, we have the same approach. Getting more people in is the same thing. We have talent in there. We want to identify this talent. We're working with this talent through startup challenges and the conference itself. We also have a retraining approach in QIC. So we have a couple of really interesting people that are there in the company that have expressed a lot of interest. So we do a retraining program for them, exposing them to products, to projects, exposing them to the right quantity of secondary education. So it's an approach where it's not there, so you have to work on it, and you're building it by bringing in external experiences, but also building on what we have internally and helping people to evolve.
Perfect. Thank you for that. Now, just stepping back a little bit and diving into the investment piece, and in terms of investing in startups and the sort of the key themes that you're looking at within insurance, what subsectors interest you? How should startups approach QIC DVP, and what is the sort of process that they can expect?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So we have right now, our search focuses around our retail footprint Yeah, so travel, health, mobility, embedded insurance. Everybody does embedded insurance. We are quite a player in embedded insurance already as QIC, and embedded insurance means API based. So we have a couple of really interesting areas there, big cooperation partners. So those are the areas where we're doing our search. That we have our search scope right now. I believe most of the companies or startups in this hackathon are there somehow. We are not restricted. We're looking for the right people, the right teams to do business with us. So we are even willing to fund and invest into teams that have a great, brilliant idea, and we can make this together running. So I believe this is the search scope. It's obviously a process. We are new as well.
Yeah.
We have a website, we have a LinkedIn. For the time being, it's not more formal. Reach out to us, and then we do take it forward. We have an internal process, and if the people that have followed me in the speeches that we are giving, we try to explain how we are evaluating companies. So we're using a digital value creation framework where actually it's really clear where you with your proposition are standing. So it's important for us that it's data-driven. It's important for us that it can be scaled among the region. Yeah, it's important for us that it's the right team with a certain insurance background in there, right? We can do digital things, we can hire, but without insurance background, particular insurance, not financial fintech experience, insurance background. I think this is key to be successful in this market, as it's really complicated. Yeah. So it's everybody wants to do business with us, reach out to us and the whole team, and we will talk and evaluate what is the right thing for us, either helping to mentor the idea, to nurture the idea, by building together with the team idea into a business, or by investing into adjacent business model. This is what we're doing. We build, we invest, and we partner. So just talk to us and we see what is possible.
Perfect.
Brilliant. I, for one, I'm reaching out to you.
Right.
So now switching gears to the future, and there's a lot of interest in Web3, and there's this whole mystical world of metaverse itself. And especially in this region, there's a lot of digital goods being purchased, NFTs being purchased. What is the role of insurers in this space, according to you? Will it be used for risk mitigation, or will it be used as a distribution channel? Metaverse will be used as a distribution channel for insurers.
That's a very interesting question, and everybody's looking into metaverse, but I would like to start at the beginning of the question. That the decentralized webs are topics that obviously have the potential to change the fundamental of any insurance business. Yeah. So yes, we are looking into decentralized ways of doing business. I believe it's less a topic right now in the retail sector than rather in the commercial insurance, where I see it. So we're looking into a couple of startups. We're looking into a couple of people that are able to think things through. We're really lucky that we have internally one or two people that are looking into this as well. So we are working with them on this kind of structures. And actually, the management team of QIC is there. Yeah, we understand this is the future, so we have to have an eye on it. Do I see that the metaverse needs an insurance agent? Yeah, I personally believe. Give it another 2 or 3 or 4 years to see what will evolve in the metaverse. Yes, I hear 30 million users, but this is an early stage topic. I still have my doubts on will it really fly. For us, it's something that we have a look into, but I personally believe that our region here in MENA is not ready there to use and sell any insurances. Yeah. NFT, you mentioned, yes. Really interesting. We like the idea. I think there are certain international insurance models available for it. That we have Qatar and Deloitte's syndicate Antares. So we have an exposure there. We are interested in doing these kind of investigations. I don't say that we invest, but it's really interesting. And you have to look into the future to be aware of what's actually coming, what is a threat to your own business, and where you can evolve into it in the digital sphere. So really important and interesting for us.
Yeah, very good. So gung-ho about decentralization, but metaverse still to form a picture. I mean, as we are seeing, it's pretty early days in any case. So that makes sense. Now, looking at from the Middle East, and as you briefly touched upon, it's a fairly unique region with the population. There's a mix of expats and local population, the geographical consideration, regulatory, cultural issues. Sometimes many startups think that probably it's a good idea to copy paste what has worked elsewhere and just bring it here. Do you see some unique nuances or unique factors that insurtechs and even insurers should take into consideration while setting up shop here?
Yeah, very good question. I believe we can discuss for hours here. Remember, we have discussed it already.
Yeah.
Offsite. Yes, I think there's this one simple answer to this question. No, copy paste will not work.
Yeah,
that's it. Why? Because the region is really complex in terms of regulatory structure, in terms of the different population that we are having in these countries. Yeah, the political tensions or no tensions between different countries. So copy a concept is not possible. You have to adapt the concept in the proper way. And this, I believe, where we want to play a big role as QIC DVP, because we have everything. We understand international business models, but we also have the reach to go out. So this is what I'm trying to sell everybody. If you're thinking MENA, then talk to us, because we are MENA and we have the digital mindsets to make things happen. Yeah. So what I would like to say is that a copy-paste approach does not work. I'm personally really surprised, and I'm here a year now, about from the tendency, really generic value propositions that we're having in insurance. But if I look into other regions, we have a certain proposition for a certain group of people. I don't see this here. Everybody is selling the same product to everybody. It's like, it's like, what's that? Yeah, we haven't seen this in 5 years ago, right? In other regions. So I believe there's a lot of potential, and we have seen actually in our startup challenge a couple of insurtechs that are going in this direction. I love it. This is the future that we have seen really working out in quite a number of other regions, and this is something that can work out. And I really just want to express again, here's my hand, talk to us. We would be really happy to work with you and everybody listening in on these kind of propositions.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Wonderful. You recently attended the Insurtech Asia event. You represented Middle East. You blogged about how some of the insurtechs that were there were pretty interesting. But let's talk about those, or generally insurtechs globally. How has your outlook on partnerships with these insurtechs evolved? Is there any projects that you're currently working on with these insurtechs, and what has your experience been, so far?
Yes, I believe we are 9 months into our journey. Yeah, so it's a bit early to really have a proven model. Yes, we are talking to a couple of insurtechs. We have investments in insurtechs from the past that we believe we can work with and bring them to the region. So I think there are a couple of things that are coming up. It's a question that I cannot answer here in this call yet. I believe we would need to do this interview in 1 year. Yeah, and I really hope we can talk more about it. I believe I'm really happy. There's a lot of interest. Yeah, people have problems understanding how complex the region is. Once it is explained, then actually it's get easier. As I said, I truly believe there are only a few companies that can really help incumbents to come into the region, or insurtechs to come into the region, if you're one of those, because you need capacity, legal framework, and digital mindset to make it happen, which is what QIC brings within. Yeah, so this is where I want to see it. I think there are really interesting things coming up in the next weeks and months, and if you follow us, you will see them. But it's too early to talk about it right now.
No, it's great. That gives us an opportunity to come back to you again in some time as well. But I think just to underscore what you said was, it's really about partnerships and it's about working together. Whenever I hear an insurtech which says, I'm going to disrupt this industry, I figure that they don't understand this industry. We should talk later.
Yes. Yes.
So anyway, that's been brilliant. We're kind of bringing this to a close. And before we end, is there any message that you would like to send to anyone from the industry in the MENA region or beyond, personal or business one? this is
no, business-wise, really, or business and personal-wise combined. Right? I believe we are living in a really interesting region. I think a lot need to be done, but this gives us an opportunity. Huge opportunities are here. So let's work on it. Let's try to bring the insurance landscape in MENA into the level that we actually see in others, right? Driven by data, driven by proposition that actually are for market segments, yeah? And then happy to help and work with you all in the digital insurance and insurtech ecosystem.
Brilliant.
Perfect. That's very good. And I think that's a great way to end the conversation. Thank you very much for being here at FS Brew. We enjoyed this conversation.
Thank you very much for your time with me.
Perfect.
Thank you.